I feel like this is such an amazing opportunity to get to be in front of you and to get to be with this community. And my story is kind of maybe not unusual. Everyone has their own unique journey. But I've been in recovery for 20 years. And my journey started where I grew up in a home, not a couple hours from here in a beach community in the South Bay of Los Angeles. And things looked pretty good from the outside. We had 2 cars, we had 3 kids, a dog, a cat, and I had a big wheel. And I think from the outside, our family really looked like we kind of had it together. And what people didn't know, and what we kept really hid in our family, was that my mom suffered from severe mental illness and was really, really abusive. And my dad, probably because of his own unresolved trauma, really wasn't able to step up and help any of us, and he kind of buried his head in the sand. So growing up in my home, it was scary, it was painful, and what I learned were a lot of coping skills and a lot of mechanisms to get me through. And humor was one of the things and one of my tools that was my saving grace. So I don't think it surprised anyone that I grew up doing musical theater and plays, and then eventually went on to be a professional improv comedian, performing at a company you may know here, National Comedy Theater. They're in Mission Hills. Anyway, I got really involved in humor because I felt like it really saved me. I felt like there was so much darkness, there was so much pain, and that was just something that I could latch onto and that really made me feel like there was some hope. And in my journey, what I was really able to identify later in looking back, and what I really try to help the people that I work with, my clients, because I have a company where I coach individuals, I do groups, I facilitate women's groups, I go to women's and men's prisons. And what I really try to help people identify with, because I know that this completely changed my journey and my ability to really understand that what happened to me and the experiences that I went through doesn't define who I am as a person. And some of the limiting beliefs that I realized that I had been carrying was that it was so challenging growing up in this home. And I had some really great friends, and I had my theater group, and those were my people, that's where I belonged, and it was awesome. But I was just this little kid, and I learned, or I interpreted, that what was happening in my home, and because my dad didn't save me, my brother or my sister, from that, I just came to the conclusion that I wasn't worth saving. And so my whole life, I unconsciously sort of went through this whole journey on the outside looking pretty good. I was functioning, I was getting good grades in school, I dissociated like nobody's business, but I looked like I had it going on. On the inside, I was a mess. I was a really sad, scared little girl that turned into a woman that had a lot of great coping skills and coping mechanisms that used to serve me really well as a child that no longer were working for me. So at the age of 21, my sister went into a treatment center for addiction, and 3 months later I realized, holy cow, I'm looking in the mirror and I would like to change my life as well. So I started my journey. And meanwhile, I was doing improv. And I was connecting to the deeper levels inside of myself of joy and play, and really things I didn't experience very much in my home growing up. And years go by, and I made a commitment to myself that if I could work through enough of my trauma and enough of my challenges and really be free of my addictions, that my biggest hope and desire was to be a vessel of light and a beacon to other people on the journey that had been so instrumental to me. So, about 8 years ago, went back to grad school, got my master's in spiritual psychology, and realized, hi, just like everyone else in this room and on this planet, I kind of kick ass. I'm kind of awesome. I'm sort of a divine being, a spiritual being having a human experience, and I really woke up to my truth. I really woke up to the fact that, X, Y, and Z had happened, and it sucked. And the layers of grief were continuing, and they still come up, and they still continue from time to time. And I still work my process, and I still go to my meetings, and I still am in my program, and I still am doing it. But I shifted. I had this paradigm shift where something opened up within me, where I realized that what had happened to me and what I made it mean about me was a total lie. It wasn't true. I wasn't this piece of crap. I wasn't this person that wasn't worth saving. It was my dad's own limitations and his inability connecting to his inner self and to do his own work that prevented him really from being able to help us to live a healthy, functional family life. Does it make everything okay? No, but it gave me, and it gives me inner peace, that what happened to me is a portion and a part of my story. And 2 decades ago, if I had thought about standing up here and saying this to you guys, that was probably the most impossible thing I could have ever thought to do. So I just love talking to people. I love talking to groups, because what I truly believe is if I can get there, if the little girl that was under the stairs scared for her life, not knowing if I would be around till the next morning because no one was there to help or save me, and my mom was really in a challenged space, and if I can get to this point where I can say that I really rock and I love who I am, I don't care if I do dishes or laundry, I'm awesome. My worth and my value isn't connected to my doing. I'm a human being, and that's what I think we all are. We're human beings and not human doings, and I really want to nurture the light, the soul, and the divinity that I see in all of us. So that's a bit about me. And continuing on my improv comedy journey, I had this kind of cool awareness where I was doing shows and being on stage and having a lot of fun, and I realized as I was doing my healing journey that a lot of the basic principles that we were learning in improv were the same principles that were really keeping me successful and gaining forward momentum on my healing and recovery journey. So I developed a program, yay! And it's about combining the improv skills that I've learned and connecting them to going down a little bit deeper and learning how to connect with the more authentic part of ourselves. Whether you call that healing, whether you call that empowerment, whether you call that connecting to your joy. So, are you guys ready to have a little bit of fun today?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Are you guys ready? Are you in a food coma? Are you guys ready to have fun today?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Awesome. So what I would love for you all to do is we're going to create some space in this room to move around. And so what I would like